Edward Snowden revealed after this, no one will buy Ripple XRP. We'll find out soon if Hinman's documents will be made public. However, the community may be disappointed because they may not be so important and interesting. Welcome to the Finance Up channel. Please watch this video to the end, like it, and subscribe to the channel so as not to miss the release of new videos. Also in this video, we will show the lucky winner of giveaway free 500 XRP, and maybe it will be you. So watch the video carefully until the end. Most XRP holders expect the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission to seek a settlement against Ripple, according to a Twitter poll conducted by John E. Deaton, a lawyer advocating for XRP. According to the results of the survey, which Deaton launched on Wednesday, 59.2% of more than 18,000 voters predicted an out-of-court settlement of the case in 2023, and the remaining 40.8% said that it would end with a court decision. While the survey itself provides little insight into why XRP holders expect a settlement, it's worth noting that many believe Ripple may have cornered the SEC with Hyman's document. William Hyman, in his speech in 2018, as director of the SEC, argued that Bitcoin and Ethereum are not security. Consequently, Ripple's lawyers, trying to understand how the director came to this conclusion and why regulators treated XRP differently, requested documents and emails on the draft speech, but faced stiff resistance from the regulator. Claimed that these documents were protected by attorney-client privilege. But after 6 refusals in 18 months, 2 judges handed over the documents to Ripple in October. Nevertheless, the Securities and Exchange Commission is making a last-ditch attempt to ensure that these documents do not become public in accordance with its latest request for the classification of documents related to applications for summary. Such a strong desire to keep Hyman's documents secret has raised suspicions about their contents. Some members of the XRP community and prominent juts think that the SEC may be forced to seek a settlement agreement with Ripple to hide these documents from the public. If the court rejects their petition, Stuart Altai, Ripple's general counsel, hinted that Ripple's arguments became more weighty after they got Hyman's documents into their own. Recall that Ripple's chief executive officer, Brad Garlinghouse, claimed that Ripple would only agree to the deal if the SEC clarified XRP, hence an out-of-court settlement is potentially beneficial to the XRP community. However, this is the last thing the broader crypto community wants. Stein Media founder David Gox called it the worst possible outcome, calling Ripple's outright victory the preferred. This is because although it provides clarity for XRP, it does not force the regulator to bring clarity to the rest of the cryptocurrency markets. Lawyer James K. Fain predicts that if there is no settlement agreement, the judge will make his decision before or at the end of March 2023. Patrick L. Riley, CEO of the blockchain company Reaper Financial, shared his opinion on the role of XRP in the undeclared economic rivalry between China and the United States, saying that Ripple's current lawsuit against the SEC is not just a court case, it's a war. Riley tweeted that China has been manipulating Bitcoin for years and has not set its dogs on the leading cryptocurrency, even though it has banned mining in the country. In his opinion, China really wants to prevent the adoption of XRP in the United States, as this will keep America from ruining. In this regard, he said that the SEC lawsuit against Ripple Labs is not just a court case, it's a war. The lawsuit against Ripple was launched by the U.S. securities regulator in December 2020, and it continues to this day as the parties to this case continue to win small victories over each other. The CEO of Ripple hopes that the case will be settled in 2020. China is working on its own central bank digital currency, digital yuan. He worked on this for several years and redoubled his efforts when Facebook began trying to create a stablecoin backed by a basket of the most popular fiat currencies in 2019. 2020, the Facebook project was put on the back shelf and the Chinese one has already been tested on real users and their wallet. Back in 2019, influencers like Anthony Pompano said a lot on Twitter that the US should launch the digital dollar as soon as possible. They believe that if China launched its KBI before the US, China would surpass the US in the emerging field of digital finance on a global scale. Then the Federal Reserve System began to explore the possibility of creating a so-called FedCo. However, Some representatives of the crypto community criticized the idea of creating a QPC in the United States. Among them was the famous whistleblower, Edward Snowden. He called COB DCA perversion and a crypto-fascist currency. Many on Twitter also shared their fears that by launching the digital yuan, the Chinese government would strengthen control over personal finances, income, and expenses of the population, and were concerned that the same could happen in the US if the Fed launches the digital dollar. Hyman's infamous documents and emails related to his speech were one of the most discussed topics in the lengthy US SEC lawsuit against Ripple. After the court repeatedly ordered the SEC to hand over the documents, and this finally happened, the commission does not want to make them public. Lawyer Jeremy Hogan said that the XRP community will soon learn about the court's decision. Will the SEC court force Hyman's emails to be published? We should find out very soon. Recall that the SEC, in its consolidated petitions filed on December 22 last year, asked the court not to allow the publication of disputed documents. The regulator claims that they have nothing to do with the court's decision in the simplified procedure. In addition, the SEC repeated the claim that they are protected by attorney-client privilege and that their disclosure will affect the openness of future discussions of SEC policy. In Ripple's response yesterday, the response stated that it relied on Hyman's documents in its petitions for a summary judgment, hence arguing that they could be taken into account in the summary judgment. Although the company acknowledges that Judge Torres previously stated that they may not be related to the court, this was before the court had access to the documents and the opportunity to learn Ripple's opinion about them. In addition, Ripple claims that the documents are court documents even if they are not taken into account in the court's summary judgment, and therefore should not be sealed except for the most compelling reason. Ripple claims that the SEC failed to fulfill this condition in its move. In addition, the defendants note that historically courts have rejected requests for secrecy after ruling that attorney-client privilege does not protect documents. In response to questions about when the community can expect Judge Torres to make a decision on the fate of the disputed documents, Hogan noted that so far, the judge has been quick to make decisions on the secrecy of petitions. The lawyer meant a time window of a week or two depending on the priority. The judge has so far been very quick to rule on sealing petitions, I think within a week or two, and at least once, even faster. It should be noted that Hyman's documents relate to emails and other communications from the USC, Securities and Exchange Commission related to the draft of Bill Hyman's controversial speech in 2018. The then SEC Director of Corporate Finance publicly stated that Bitcoin and Ethereum are not securities. Since Ethereum also had an initial coin sale, Ripple's lawyers decided to understand why the SEC treats XRP differently. However, the SEC strongly resisted these efforts, arousing great public curiosity about its content. Recently, lawyer John Deaton suggested that Hyman's documents were not the irrefutable proof that the XRP community considered them, citing Ripple's rare references to them in its materials. He suggests that although the documents may speak of the SEC's malicious intent, it is now likely that XRP was not mentioned, unlike previous suspicions. However, community members are still interested in the content of these emails and believe they have the right to see them. You can see the current price of XRP on your screens with a daily trading volume of $648,452,340. Used XRP has declined by 3.2 in the last 24 hours. Thank you for watching this video to the end. If you liked it, then don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so as not to miss the release of new videos.